my name is Lauren and I head up Genetik Sessions. We are so excited to be with you this week for summer school. We have so much in store for you. Please do make sure you check out our channel where you will find video tutorials on things like beatboxing, to beat making, guitar workshops, drum workshops and much, much more. We also have a talent competition happening this week where you could win a £20 Nando's card. All you got to do is film yourself showing us your talent and send it to the Genetik Sessions Instagram page, and you could be enjoying some yummy, yummy chicken. So we hope that you really enjoy your session.
Amazing. Hello everybody, good to see you. Welcome to the second genetic rap session, I think this is. And I'm really excited to be with you. We're going to have the next 15-20 minutes. We're going to go through some rap stuff. We're going to attempt to write some lyrics, a 16-bar verse that will make hopefully all your mates really jealous because you're so sick at rapping, which is what we're going to do over the course of the next 15-20 minutes. Now, what you will see is I've got this camera here, and also on my phone I've got this camera here. Now, the reason I've gone with two cameras is basically because I realised as soon as I set all this up, I've made it all fancy and everything, got the lights everywhere, as soon as I turn around to try and write some bars, you guys can't see me. So hence, I've got this here. And hopefully the audio is pretty good, but we'll have to work on that. We'll have to see how it goes. So what we're going to start with is we're going to have a look at our rap. In the previous rap session with Aidan and Ben, they went through three things. They went through content, delivery and flow. And what we're going to try and do is during this session is we're going to try and apply those three things that we looked at with Aidan and Ben and put them into an actual song. So the first thing we're going to go with is we're going to go with content. And it's this scripture here. It says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." And that is Deuteronomy 31:6. And I think at the moment in the world, it's quite a difficult time to be around, isn't it? It's quite a difficult time. It's hard to be strong and courageous at the moment because the whole world is so full of fear. And what I think is really important for us to go away with at the end of this session is actually to leave and go, you know what? It's not all bad. We can be strong and courageous and we don't need to fear because we've got God on our side. So that covers our content. So that's what we're going to talk about. When Aidan and Ben were talking about delivery in the last session, they were talking about their tones and how they were going to actually deliver it. And for this song, we want it to be quite uplifting. We want it to be something that's really, really positive. Because we're talking about such a positive subject, and that will also lead into our flows, because for example we're not going to go for an aggressive flow because we're talking about something that's so positive. So the first thing that we need to do is, before we look at any of that content, we're going to have a look at some beats online, and this is something that you can do at home. Right now we can go in, we can look at some different types of beats and then try and figure out if it's the kind of beat that you want to write to for today. Now the way you would look for that online is you would think of an artist that you want to sound like during your rap, or an artist that you really, really love, specifically a rapper, and then put type beats on the internet, because you'll find loads and loads of different beats that are inspired by the sound of that specific rapper. And then what you're able to do is you're able to take that beat away, either just listen to it on YouTube, or if you've got Logic, you can bounce it out and then put it into your own project and stick it on repeat. But you can just look at it on YouTube and then start writing lyrics to it. Back to my second camera. Right, and what we're going to be looking at now is we're going to be trying to find a beat that is specifically like the kind of one we want. So I would go into YouTube first of all, and I want to think of like an inspiring rapper. And a rapper that always really inspires me, that I love very, very much, is Macklemore. So I'm going to type in Macklemore type beats. And again, you can do this at home. So if you're trying to figure out what kind of beat you want to sound like, if there's a rapper you want to sound like, type in his type of beats or her type of beats. And then what you can do is you can start adapting your rap around that, and you can rap a little bit like that person in your own style on a specific beat that you find. Let's go for just the first one and see how it sounds. Fast forward to the eliminators. Amazing. So as you can hear in this straight away, I actually feel like I like this one, but we'll go into a few other beats as well just to have a look at it. And this beat specifically, what I really like is it's got the keys in it. Now, quite often when you have those keys with that clinky sound, it gives quite an uplifting and inspiring sound, which is something that we'll want based on the verse that we've got. And then what will happen is this beat, because of that uplifting sound, it will affect our delivery and it will affect our flows, because that uplifting sound will make us lean more towards an uplifting delivery, so a happier delivery, and also with our flows something that are perhaps a bit more playful. Let's go for another one. Oh, okay, actually I think I prefer this one. I mean, this straight away I love, because it's got three of my favourite artists as the reference. So it's got Macklemore, Kyle and Chance the Rapper. Now those three are three of my favourite artists, especially because of how uplifting and motivational they are with the majority of their music. So actually I've got a vibe that I want this. And unfortunately I don't know many SpongeBob songs, so I can't necessarily go for a SpongeBob type beat. Or I might type that in a second to have a look. So for me, when I'm starting to think of a beat, whether I'm with producers and they're showing me beats, or if I'm going online and just looking for different beats, quite often I'll take the beat and I'll see how I initially vibe to it. Do I enjoy the BPM, which is beats per minute? Do I enjoy the kind of tempo of the song? Do I enjoy the sound of the song? And do I think I'd be able to deliver well on it? Especially for me as a vocalist, do I feel like the key is in a range that is good for me? And actually, luckily with this one, I do. I really, really love this beat. So let's keep going. Ah, they got that in there as well. Listen, little fella, I see you waiting for Cinderella, Ella, Stella, or Rebecca, maybe even Gemma. Take her out for mozzarella. Then a dilemma, you're trying to tell her, right? You've only got a tenner, right? And I try and use previous bars that I've written over the top of this beat to see if I really vibe it. So for me, I'm feeling this beat. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm feeling this beat. So I'm gonna go straight in with this beat. Now, as I said before, if you've got Logic, what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna rip this off online. So I'm gonna use a converter from YouTube to an MP3. Then I'm gonna put it into my Logic project. And the reason for that is so that I can put it on a consistent loop. If you can do that, do that. If you can't, then just listen to it on YouTube and that's fine. But I'm going to do that now. So it might just cut randomly to some other time when I've actually got it into the project. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. So now that I've downloaded the beat on an online converter, what I can do is I can just simply drag it into an empty Logic project. So if this is the first time you're doing this, if you've just got Logic, literally you can grab it and drag it in, and what will happen is it's straight into there. Now what I love to do, and what a lot of rappers love to do, is they love to put the metronome on as well while they're listening to a beat. In fact, a lot of rappers historically, proper purist rappers, actually used to rap just to a metronome, which is a... So I'm going to do that now. Now, if you're unsure how to do this, I'm just going to very, very quickly show you how to figure out a BPM on an actual track. So what you do is you click on the track, then you go down to Audio FX, you'd go down to Metering, you'd go from Metering to BPM and click Stereo. Then when it comes up here, you might be able to see, you might not, what you've got is in this corner, you've got the BPM counter. If you click space, then the beat will play. And while the beat is playing, it will be counting the BPM and then be able to tell you what the actual BPM is. BPM is 92, which is very traditional hip-hop kind of tempo, which means it's not that surprising that I chose it, considering we want to do a rap song to it. So I'm going to put 92 up here at the top. Now the purpose of that 92 is so that it keeps it all in time, and then what we can do is we can turn the metronome on, which is this little funny thing up here, which is also called the click. When you hover over it, you can hear it there. And the purpose of that is literally so that you can stay in time. Feel like it's almost like stabilizers when I'm rapping, so it keeps me in time, like stabilizers on a bike, so that it makes sure that I'm on the right path, and I know that if I'm out by that tempo, by that clicking, then it means my flow's off. So that's what I would do. Now, once I've got all of this set up, I've got the beat in there, I've got the click sorted, I know what I'm talking about, I'd start going into flows, and I'd start going into delivery and thinking about how I'm delivering it. But the first thing what I'd go for is I'd go for the content, which we've already got the content obviously, but I would want to expand on this verse, which says, "Be strong and courageous, do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you." And then what I'd do is I'd start writing. So what this next section is going to be is it's just going to be the beat on top of here, and what is going to be happening is it's a chance for you to start writing your bars. If you're unsure of how to write your bars, there's a very simple way that I used to do when I first started rapping with a piece of paper. So let me just get a piece of paper, because it turns out I totally forgot to grab one. So here I am with my piece of paper, and what I used to do, this is when I first started rapping, I used to split my piece of paper into three sections. So the first thing I do is I draw a big line down the middle, like so. Okay? Excuse me, it's going to be very, very rough. So I do it just like that. I'll do it on this little camera so you can see it as well. So the first thing I do is I would draw this line down the middle. Then on one of the sides, usually on the left-hand side, just because that's what I used to do, I'd split that into two as well. So I was left with something a little bit like this. Right? And all these sections was for specific things. So the section on the right, what I would use that for is I'd use that for my actual lyrics, when I got down to my lyrics. On the left side, the top section would be I'd write content. Now obviously we already know what our content is about, but when I'm talking about content, I more mean like what specific things are you going to talk about when it comes to this topic of don't be afraid or don't be scared, because the Lord your God goes with you. Do you want to start thinking about storytelling, which is something that was mentioned in the last rap section? Do you want to talk about something like that? Do you want to talk about an example of specifically in your life or in somebody else's life? Or do you want to kind of make odd metaphors or similes? Do you want to use some similes? Do you want to give examples of specific times when you can be protected, to emphasize the point that you're trying to say? So for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 things, because what I want to do is if we're writing a verse, it's either 8 or 16. We'll go for 8 just because we don't want this video to be too long and you don't want to be watching me for that long. What we're going to do is we're going to go for our content is going to be, one of the things is I'm going to talk about fear. And what I'm going to talk about is a story when I was younger, which is when I used to get really, really bad night terrors and I used to be really, really scared. Hang on one second, I'm just going to grab a Diet Coke. Oh yeah. About lyrics, I might talk about when I was scared, when I was in bed. I might even talk about being scared in school when I was younger, so I might talk about school. I could literally talk about my family and how I feel protected in my family and how God is like family. Which is why God is my family, and which is why there's no reason to fear. So that's what I've done now on this thing. So I've got my content. Apologise for the really bad writing, because I'm not very good at writing well. And then the next thing what I would have done is I would have done rhymes. But you are very, very lucky if you're doing this online, which presumably means you've got access to the internet. So what you can do is you can actually cheat. So you might want to write this section with rhymes, but you might not. Because you can just literally Google what rhymes with fear, what rhymes with bed, what rhymes with school, and then you get all the rhyming words within the English dictionary and in the English language that you can possibly go with. So then what I'd do is I'd take some of those rhyming words and see which ones I could link with fear. So with, for example, school, and this is a really, really simple one, obviously. I am a professional rapper, I promise, but I'm going to use a really rubbish rhyme. I could say, occasionally I used to be scared in school. I was really scared that I wasn't very cool, or something like that. And that is how you would do it. You'd look and go, ah, cool, I can go with school, and this is how I might do it. Perfect. So once you've looked at your content, so I want you to be doing this at home, once you've got your content and you've had a look at your rhyming words, then I would look at the beat. So I already know what I'm going to talk about. I've already got the skeleton of my lyrics before I even go onto the beat. I'm not going in blind. I'm going in knowing what I want to talk about. Then I would literally play the beat and start writing my lyrics. So what I want you to do is, I want you to start listening to the beat in a second. But first, let's make sure that we know what a beat is, or how long a bar is. A bar is a count of 4, and luckily, because we've got the metronome, it's going to be a count of each 4 of the metronome. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So each one of those counts of 4 was 1 bar. So I'm just going to try and write 8 of them. I'm going to put the beat on over the top, and then now you guys can start writing. So take as long as you want. Okay, so I've written this really quickly. They're not the greatest bars live, but this is to give you an example of the kind of thing that you can create in a very short period of time, based on these things that we've done. So it goes like this. Yeah. I used to be scared when I was in bed at night. Despite being tucked in, I never slept right. But growing up in my family helped make a man of me. They kept me safe and kept my sanity. And like that blood, someone who kept me safe and had mad love was God from above. So now I know that I have no fear, cause the Creator, my God, and has his ear. Something like that. I messed up the bars a little bit there. You'll be able to read it hopefully there. I mean, my writing is terrible. But part of that is to show, like, my job is literally, I'm a rapper. That's part of my job. And I wrote in those 5-10 minutes, you know what? The lyrics aren't amazing. It's to show you know what? It's not going to be great after 5-10 minutes. Like all these people who have written these amazing songs in the world that get #1s, that have hundreds of millions, even billions of plays, they didn't write a great song in 5 minutes. It takes them hours and hours and hours. It takes days, it takes weeks, talking to lots of different people. So I encourage you, keep writing these things. Send in the bars, send them into Genetik Sessions. Let's see what you got. We might even have some sort of prize for you if you've written some particularly good bars, or if you want, if it's really, really good, we might just post you on the Genetik Session page and say, you know what, look at how good these bars are after listening to this rap session. But thank you very much. Remember, be strong, courageous, and do not be afraid, because God has got you. And make sure you keep writing those bars. Hope you had a good time. Keep looking in at all the other Genetik Sessions. And we'll see you all soon. Thank you very much. I'm John from SoulBox.
We really hope that you enjoyed your session with us today and are feeling like a pro. Please do make sure you send in your videos for the talent competition as well. If you've enjoyed this session and you want to find out more about the Christian faith, then you can join your tutors on a Wednesday for Higher Life. Check this out.
Hey, what's up everyone? Sammy from SoulBox. Come and hang out with me and my friends every Wednesday, 5 p.m. to explore the Christian faith. See you guys there.